Hello and welcome to the show. You're on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, coming to you live from my car. I'm Jacquelene Closemore, and today I'm going to continue our little journey on the Major Arcana of the Tarot. And this week I'm talking about number 5, the Hierophant or Pope card, which hopefully you can see because things are blocked. I'm just going to go that way. Woo. So when we're looking at 5 and the Hierophant card, it's really interesting to see these two dudes down here. Hello, B1 and B2. Maybe they're like Bishop 1 and Bishop 2. It's like, are you thinking what I'm thinking, Bishop 1? Yes, it's called an inquiry. Anyhow, so we can get really kind of problematic with that, but essentially it's kind of like the patriarch of the Major Arcana. He's a Hierophant or Pope card, and it's kind of like the spiritual wise dude giving advice and guidance on that kind of, etheric plane. But also it can be like authority figures. So you think of the authority of the church, which I don't know about you, but I think that's been a bit of a problem for women throughout the ages, just quietly. Like female clergy, how long's that taken? I mean, there used to be lots of female clergy back in the pagan times before Christianity decided that they'd kind of take some of the rituals and rename them and rebrand them. A bit like you kind of got chicken, okay? You got Red Rooster, you've got KFC, you've got the local chicken shop, you've got McNuggets as well. I mean, let's face it, what's it called, a chicken burger? They're all just chicken, aren't they? And for us, for the vegans out there, that can be sort of like disgusting. So we could even have the vegan chicken, which is, the vegan bits that look like a chicken drumstick but aren't really a chicken drumstick. But theoretically, it's all chicken or chicken-esque, yeah? And it's a bit like religion. A lot of religions are coming from a position of seeking a higher sort of space and doing good things. They express a love of a higher being, usually. Buddhism gets a bit interesting with that, sort of like detachment and, who is Buddha anyway? But it's all different paths and expressions of this light, this light within us. So when we look at the 5 or Hierophant card, we're looking at that sort of thing of, there can be the wise guidance of a spiritual leader, or there can be tyrannical kind of, on the negative side of this card, there can be tyrannical stuff, an authoritarian. I mean, hi, Putin, how you doing? And we can use religious and spiritual sort of stuff to enlighten ourselves, or, we can have wars throughout the ages. And it's sort of like, I know what I'm choosing here. It's interesting that also, today in 5, the Hierophant card, I'm coming to you from my car, which is not my usual place of doing a show. Usually you see me in my studio or on location, or I'll be doing something from home, and certainly over lockdown. That was kind of fascinating, getting interrupted by my cats all the time. But so today we're talking about 5, the Hierophant card, and, all of that sort of stuff. And 5, the Hierophant card links in the Kabbalah Tree of Life to what in English means hook or nail. And it's kind of like the idea of being goaded to do something, like to get going. But there can also be goading going on. And when we look at 5, we're looking at the image of travel. So that's why it's funny that I'm coming from my car to do this show today. Because 5 can be communication, travel, business negotiations, all these sorts of energies that come with it. But also with that hook or nail, it's like being goaded. And in 5, there can be negotiations and conflict resolution and mediation, or gossip. So when we're looking at, Hopi, and we're looking at these two down here, hello, this is where you can find that people with a 5 life path number or a 5 day of birth, so 14, which is 5, or 23, which is a 5. 23 is always an interesting one because that's like ultimately you get people trying to usurp your authority, which is kind of well, can seem funny, but not actually funny to live through, right? But 5, when people have 5 as a life past number or as, something going on, or they're going on through a 5-year, quite often you get, one of these dudes backstabbing the other dude to this dude and vice versa. They sort of, it's like, will you pick a side? It's like, when people come to you and they go, Mary looks really bad in those jeans, doesn't she? And then you go, look, I really like Mary, but maybe, different jeans would be good. And then Roberta, who said this about Mary, then goes back to Mary and goes, do you know what she said about you and your jeans? Like, I didn't actually say that. It's been misconstrued. And then you can also have Roberta going on about Mary, and then Mary going on about Roberta. And it's like both coming at you. Like, just imagine both ears kind of both of them in your ears. It's like, and I think the best thing you can do when people are backstabbing each other to you, and usually in a 5 scenario, it's going to be both of them backstabbing each other to you, and they both won't know or might suspect that they're both doing this, is to say, I really like both of you. Mm. And I know that you're both such mature, problem-solving people who would never gossip about anybody, would you? Right? And and watch them kind of just clam up a bit. Because you could say, I like both of you for the fact that you don't like to start arguments when you know they like to start arguments. It's sort of like calling them out and saying they're the exact opposite to what they're being, in a sense of calling them to a higher behaviour. And it's actually quite funny when you do this, because they will either go and talk to each other about how wonderful you were and you didn't say a bad thing about either of them to each other, or they'll come together and one will try saying something and the other one will go, but she had nothing but nice things to say about you. But either way, they're either going to have to go and talk to each other and sort this out, or more than likely they don't want to sort it out anyway. They just want someone to complain to and about, behind the back of, and they're just going to stop coming to you with that stuff. And you know what? Either way, that's a win. I mean, we can really want to solve stuff with people, can't we? But sometimes it's just not really for us to do. Sometimes it's this case of just sitting here like this dude up here, Mr. Pope. And if we have a look, what's he doing with the hand? Yeah? Look at that hand. Talk to the hand, lady. I've got nothing for you. Like I'm trying to just sit here and be all kind of calm. And if we sort of look at this, it kind of looks a bit like the sign of Saturn in that white shape going down the road there. And it's kind of like, I'm just going to be calm, cool, collected, rational. Good luck with that at times when that's happening to you. And I'm just going to, contemplate how to deal with this the best way possible. I'm going to be flexible, because 5 is all about movement. So I'm sort of flexibly able to move my ideas about things when presented with new facts and information. And 2021 was actually a 5-year. So there was a lot of that going on for people, and certainly in the clients that I was getting coming to me. So, that's just a bit about the Hierophant card. I just also want to update you, I'm back on tour. So that's going to be my first public appearance in a while. COVID lockdowns in Melbourne, the most lockdown city in the world. Go me and us, all Melburnians really. And all Melburnians who fled, frankly. Good luck to them. But essentially, I'm going back on tour. The 1st of May is my first date on stage again. Yay. Doing live platform readings. I'll be reading randomly for people in the crowd, and the great thing is they can answer me back. You think that's not daunting. That can be pretty daunting. So I'll be doing live audience readings there on stage, and also a bit of a talk about how you can access your gifts, and also about the connection between nature, spirit, and your internal nature, and even the colours of the chakra, the auras, what that relates to going on in your life and the symbols around it, as well as different elements in nature. So I sort of speak about that. I'll also be doing one-to-one readings at my stand. And as always, I'm still doing my full-time consulting in my CBD office in Melbourne. and also over the internet. If you're trying to reach out to me, that's where you can find me on my website. But also, I'm just going to keep going through the major arcana over these next number of weeks. And also on 8th of May, I'm going to be doing at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a live on Facebook about love bombing. So there'll be more about that next week. I'll talk about it, but also keep journeying through the major arcana. Going to catch you next week. In the meantime, there's more shows on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV to watch. Keep on tuning in. Lots of love to you all. Bye.